SCP-1069. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures: the area within a 5-kilometer radius of SCP-1069-1 has been marked as off-limits to civilian access under the guise of environmental chemical contamination, and all Foundation staff located on-site are to operate under the cover of an environmental cleanup organization. Exploration or experimentation with SCP-1069-1 may only be performed with prior permission from at least 2 Level 3 senior researchers, and all personnel within the area must wear full soundproofed ear protectors or modulated sound processing headsets at all times. Any individuals attempting to enter this area without authorization, appropriate acoustic protection, or in an attempt to communicate with SCP-1069-3 without prior permission are to be detained, questioned, and administered a Class B amnestic if deemed necessary. Description: SCP-1069-1 is a submerged city 3 kilometers off the coast of France, at a depth of approximately 220 meters. SCP-1069-1 covers an area of approximately 4.8 kilometers squared and is surrounded by a high dike constructed of bronze and indicating that it might have once been a coastal city. Dating of recovered artifacts and materials indicate that SCP-1069 is at least 1,500 years old, and surveys of the intact sections of the city indicate that it would have been one of the largest cities of its era, in addition to containing architecture and high-strength construction that exceeds the technical capabilities of any known civilization of the time. Recovered artifacts have also revealed written script belonging to what has been tentatively identified as a previously unknown Breton or Brythonic language. Extensive analysis of the city's buildings has revealed damage consistent with a large-scale tsunami and subsequent flooding. Due to a lack of damage to the city's exterior dike, it is unknown precisely what this event entailed, as a wave of sufficient height to crest the walls would presumably have been of sufficient magnitude to result in a far more catastrophic damage to the city itself. SCP-1069-2 is a population of intangible human entities inhabiting SCP-1069-1, currently estimated in excess of 78,000 individuals. These individuals appear to be dressed in clothing from a large cross-section of historical periods, so far determined to be as early as 500 AD and as recent as World War II-era military dress, and have been observed engaging in activity consistent with those of 5th century city life. Instances of SCP-1069-2 do not appear to be able to perceive or otherwise acknowledge the existence of living human subjects, even when attempting to communicate directly with particular instances. SCP-1069-3 is a specific female humanoid entity within SCP-1069-1, consistently described as having regal composure and being dressed in clothing consistent with that of 5th century nobility. SCP-1069-3 is capable of communicating and conversing with particular personnel, especially those with high levels of extrasensory sensitivity. SCP-1069-3 does not appear to be hostile or dangerous to Foundation personnel, but multiple personnel have described seeing unusual piscine or delphine features such as fins or a tail when SCP-1069 is in their peripheral vision, and on several occasions been the target of attempts to convince personnel to live within the city. SCP-1069 was discovered on 19 by a civilian archaeological expedition attempting to locate and explore underwater ruins near Foundation agents embedded within the expedition called for backup following the disappearance of 3 civilian team members during initial containment and exploration. A containment team was successful in securing SCP-1069, and all surviving expedition members were administered a Class A amnestic and given a cover story. Addendum 1069-1 Incident Report Incident 1069-8 19 During a submersible survey dive within the eastern district of SCP-1069-1 performed by members of the Foundation research team, doctors, and were apparently engaged in conversation by SCP-1069-3. From fragments of audio recovered from the remains of the submersible's audio recorders, it appears that the researchers conversed for several minutes before the submersible's main pressure hatch is compromised through unexplained means, resulting in a catastrophic depressurization of the vehicle. The wreckage of the submersible was recovered from the Eastern District without incident, along with the clothes and personal effects of doctors, and no bodies or other human remains were located. In subsequent exploration dives, on-site personnel have reportedly identified instances of SCP-1069-2 matching the descriptions of doctors
Redacted.
and
Redacted.
in the eastern district of SCP-1069-1, wearing contemporary casual clothing. As with all such instances, they did not respond to attempts to communicate or otherwise attract their attention. Addendum 1069-2 Interview Transcript
Redacted.
19.
Redacted.
Following the events of Incident 1069-8, authorization was given for Dr.
Redacted.
a senior researcher known to have been able to draw the attention of SCP-1069-3 in a prior survey dive, to attempt to interview SCP-1069-3. Start of transcript. Welcome back. Have you come to join us this time? No, but I would like to ask you a few questions. Certainly. Who are you exactly? I am Dahut, daughter of Gradlon. There are those who would call me queen, but I am merely a caretaker of this city. All who seek refuge here are equal. 2 of our personnel recently disappeared here. Do you know them?
Redacted.
And...
Redacted.
Yes, of course I do. I know the names of all who shelter within my walls. What did you do to them? Why did you take them? Take them? I am afraid you are mistaken. I would never keep someone here against their will. All those who live here do so of their own accord. Assuming you are telling the truth, what exactly did you do to them? They are sheltered here within my walls, by my power. Can you release them? I told you that I do not keep them. If they wish to leave, then all they must do is ask. I cannot make that decision for them any more than I could force them to live here in the first place. Those men have families, you know. They have to. Yes, they do. Families with children who have grown up, and spouses who have grown cold. They have no desire to remain in a world where every waking hour is one living in fear from the unknown, and have chosen my sanctuary instead. How do you know that? They told me. Just as they told me that you
Redacted.
are yet unmarried, and likely to be convinced to join them. You're lying. Why would I lie? All I have ever asked for is the right to live in peace, away from the politics and machinations of those who would rule the world. I have tolerated your kind for as long as you have sought to control that which you do not understand, and despite their best efforts to destroy me, I have endured. I don't know what you're talking about. No, of course not. But your leaders who will read this conversation do. I sought to create a sanctuary, a city of peace on the coast. Your precursors who felt threatened by my abilities sought to sully my name and spread lies to dissuade their followers from finding refuge within these walls. For years, decades even, they tried to destroy me. First through words, then by force of arms, then finally with magic. Their wall of water pulled this city beneath the waves, but both I and the ones I swore to protect have survived. Ask your elders.
Redacted.
Ask them to tell you the truth, that they knew of us and have always known. Ask them why I must be considered a threat, why centuries of legend and myth consider me a demon, why all power, even that which is used to keep safe and protect, is an abomination. Perhaps, then, you will see what has truly transpired here, and what evil lies within their hearts. Good day.
Redacted.
I wish you well. End of transcript. Addendum 1069-3 Research Note. As of
Redacted.
2000 and
Redacted.
all further expeditions to SCP-1069 have been suspended pending further investigation and research into SCP-1069-3's subversive capabilities. All personnel having had direct contact with SCP-1069-3 are to be quarantined under telepathic and memetic agent contamination protocols immediately.